What up, Copy Squad? It's your boy, Kyle Milligan of KyleTheWriter.com, and today I'm going to tell you about the best courses for copywriters in college or university. So, I think I have some cool ideas that I think will help people who are trying to get into copywriting, especially those entry-level copywriters who are looking for, like, matching up on job requirements or getting the qualifications that they need before they hit the scene. I think a lot of people kind of hype up, like, what do I need to do to be, like, what are my copywriter degree requirements so that I can get a job as a advertising writer or a website writer or any kind of copywriter. I'll say, first and foremost, I don't think it's necessary. In all the arenas that I've been in, college is not like a requirement to get into copywriting. Maybe some big old school places might do that. Old, like, advertising places might. I don't know. But I want to address this question that I got, and I kind of have an idea for, like, how you can make college useful. So the question is, Kyle, I need your wisdom. I'm a college student with 2 years to go. I wish to become a successful copywriter like me, like you someday. Can you give me advice what to do with these 2 years of my college time? Okay, so my first knee-jerk reaction was practice copywriting. It was basically like, hey man, just take 1 hour a day, deep work hour, and just do the 3 practices I teach you. You'll finish them, you'll knock them out in like 30 minutes. Maybe just repeat them, do them again, or look deeper. So I say, first and foremost, if you're in college and you want to practice, or you want to get into copywriting, start practicing now, okay? But let's talk a little bit about, you can also practice with clients. Like, you can go get a client right now. But let's talk a little bit about the courses, I think, that will really help you in college. Like, I do think if you're going to be in college, right, you might as well leverage that accessibility you have to these different courses and classes that can help you actually be a stronger persuader. So let's talk about that. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I wasn't a very confident, or I wasn't very good at making friends or girlfriends in, like, high school and college. Like, I had some friends and stuff, and I still have those friends today. But, like, in college, I took psychology, and one of my, like, weird, like, underlying motives was to try to, like, learn how to be better at making friends, how to be better at talking to girls, and stuff like that. And it was actually through that I wound up in social psych. And that's one of my, like, number one classes that I highly recommend that you take if you're in college and you can get access to it. You'll probably have to take Psych 101, and then it'll be like Psych 203. What you're going to be looking for is a social psychology class. You're going to be looking at anything with the course description, influence, persuasion, conformity, anything like that, social constructs, stuff like that. Because I think what really is important in copywriting is getting into understanding the people that you're speaking to. I'll tell you, my first piece of copy I ever wrote, I didn't even realize it was copy or copywriting. One of the ways, like I said, I wasn't very great at making friends, but I figured it out. And one of the ways that I did this was I had house parties, like, every weekend, and I would just, like, me and my 2 roommates, we'd get like $400 worth of Busch Light, that's like 1 zillion beers, and I would just start handing out, like, invitations to these house parties to every person who I thought looked interesting or attractive, and I would pack my apartment to like 5 a.m., and I made a lot of friends that way. And I took a little lesson from my social psychology class about foot in the door, I think it's called. I would create a tip jar, and on it I put a little sticky note. And first off, I threw a bunch of money inside the jar, okay? That is social proof. I learned that in psychology. And then I put a sticky note, and it said, even a penny helps. So there was 5s and 10s inside the jar for social proof, and then I put a sticky note on the side of the jar. It said, please help us out, even a penny helps, and then a smiley face. And I learned that from psychology class too, because basically what happens is, you ask for a penny, no one's going to give you a penny. They'll say, okay, well, I want to help, I want to contribute, but nobody's going to drop a penny. They'll drop $1 or a quarter, or et cetera, et cetera. So basically, it's like foot in the door, I think it was called, is that tactic? I don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that was kind of something I learned in psychology course. And we had all sorts of stuff like that. And I was learning the art of persuasion. And now for me at the time, I had ulterior motives. I wasn't trying to sell stuff or make money, but it was definitely a game changer for me because I've carried that throughout my life. I just remember those lessons. And I think one of the things is, like, it really starts with research. I want to get around to that too. Oh, by the way, my book is called Take Their Money. It'll teach you how to speak the language of copywriting so that you can communicate to these impulses and emotional pulls that I'm going to be talking about in this video. If you get my book, Take Their Money, it's at KyleTheWriter.com/book. And then I'll tell you the other two 2 or 3 types of courses that you should probably take in college that'll really help your game out in copywriting. I had English 101 and English 102. And I think like 101 was like your basic English, like English 101. And I think 102 was like your basic like research or like scientific writing. So we had to write with specific types of writing, and we had to cite sources and do research. This was like weirdly helpful for me, and it's like I think it's imbued into my system. I don't really remember anything from that class, but I really do think it went a long way with teaching me how to do research. Furthermore, my major in college was psychology. Okay, so one of the things, like once you get past the level 2s, so Psych 101, right? That's like general psych. Then you go into like Psych 203 or 204, you look for those persuasion and conformity classes, social psychology, and you'll learn all about the propinquity effect, and you'll learn about all these cool psychology things that most people don't know about. So you'll learn a lot of biases and stuff like that in psychology that you can use to your benefit. And it'll make you a better person, actually, because you'll actually have more empathy for the person that you're speaking to. Because the person you're speaking to never thinks they're wrong, obviously. And I think in How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie sets this up by talking about like this murderer who said, like, before he died, like, I would have never hurt a fly or something like that, or I'm a good guy or something like that. And it's like, what? So, like, once you get in other people's mind, that's a huge help for selling stuff, right? Because you understand, like, everyone, like, once you kind of get that, even, like, the pretty bad people are genuinely believe that doing the right thing or that they're good people, it's almost hard to, like, label people good or bad once you understand their intentions and motivations. They think they're pure and good. But that's a huge game changer. The other thing, doing psychology as a major in college was, once you get to like the 400s and 500 psychology classes, those are purely research. Because that's what the field of psychology really is. I just finished Thinking Fast and Slow, and man, that was a dry book. Just all psychology courses, like front to back, like just nonstop, man. Kind of dry, but very interesting book. But that's what the field of psychology basically is. It's like a highly academic field where it's mostly research-based, right? To make waves in the psychology profession, you have to perform research. So after you get through those level like 200 courses in psychology, you will be almost exclusively writing research papers. This was another huge help for me as a copywriter, because as a copywriter, I say, like, 70% of your promo is written before you type a single word by the research. The research tells you what to write. You do not come up with that sales letter. That is not your big idea. You find it out there in the marketplace. It is not your information. So psychology. Like, if you got 2 years to kick it in college, get you a minor in psychology. If you can get a major in psychology, and if you want to be a copywriter, get the major. Like, if you don't think, like, college, okay, so Nick said earlier, college was the biggest waste of money he ever spent, right? College is good if you're going to be a doctor, if you're going to be a lawyer, if you're going to be an accountant, if you're going to be a professional services kind of person that needs, like, some graduate level stuff. College is necessary, right? If you're going to be an engineer, you need that specific training. If you're going to be basically most anything else, or if you know you want to be a copywriter, then, well, you're probably piling on a bunch of debt, unless you came from money, which, more power to you, brother. But you can, what was I saying? Damn it. If you know you want to be a copywriter, well, your degree in copywriting, the closest thing to a copywriting degree is psychology, specifically social conformity, influence, and persuasion psychology skills. That's like, a psychology degree is basically a direct response copywriting course in a nutshell. You learn how to do research. I do teach you how to do research for sales letters at kylethewriter.com/book if you're interested in that. But you learn how to do research, and you learn how to persuade and make persuasive arguments. And you also learn the tricks of the trade to better persuade people, to be more effective at persuasion. Also, you learn how people think and the rational, like, not rational, but like the rationale behind their choices, because they are irrational, right? You learn about all these biases and heuristics and these conclusions that you jump to when you just hear like a word and an entire meaning that comes to mind, stuff like that. So the closest thing to a direct response copywriting degree would be psychology. Yeah, that's probably like your best bet. And English 101 and English 102. English 101, I guess, was basically like you're learning your grammar and stuff, learning like all the principles, learning how to sentence structure and stuff that you'll probably, maybe with practice, you'll get better at, but you'll probably forget. But English 102 was my scientific writing course, and I think that also helped me because I was just always writing research. I was always doing research and writing scientific articles and stuff for college. All right, that's all I got. And you can check out my book, Take Their Money, at kylethewriter.com/book. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. I hope this was very useful. Peace out, Copy Squad.